Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the next episode of the BRIO in the Box podcast.
Back at it. Back in the closet. No, wait.
No, this is a nice room now.
Yeah. We got a whole studio.
We got a whole studio. It looks good in here.
Joe Rogan's right down the hall.
Yeah.
So
Modern wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all in the same studio.
Pretty much.
That's not true.
No. What's new? What have we been up to?
Well, we had a weird transitionary phase getting out of the summertime open doors era of the year. Mm-hmm. Doors are closed, cold outside. Bit of an issue came up.
We had to tackle an awkward subject. Everyone got the email.
Yeah.
If you go to BRIO, you know what we're talking about. And that is that some of y'all are smelly.
Yeah. It was hilarious because we sent it out. As you know, it's always open to everybody. Let's just all be on the same page here. You know, we're not calling out any names. We're not pointing fingers, but some of y'all stink. So hopefully this email will reiterate that, you got to wear deodorant. You got to wash your clothes. Mm-hmm. And it was hilarious how many people that don't smell at all were like, oh my God, is it me?
Instant paranoia triggered in almost everyone. Is it me? And then they're asking their friends and their spouses am I the smelly one? I don't want it to be me. I don't know it to be me. Yeah. One of the less glamorous parts of owning an affiliate is that you have to tackle awkward things. And it's funny that right around when this was happening, it was also a topic of conversation on a CrossFit affiliate owner call. And they were like, what do we do? How do we handle this? And I was like, oh, yeah, funny you say that. We're right in the middle of that one.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, the problem has been brought up. It's more than one person. So we start with a blanket. Let's set the expectations clearly. That's the email that went out to everybody. We were like, hey, truth is, and we'll cut to the chase. Some of y'all are smelly. We got to do something about it. It's not okay. We train together as a team. And now, like you said, doors are closed in closed spaces. We can't just open the front and back door and air everything out. So as far as we could tell, it falls into a few categories, like not wearing deodorant.
Yeah.
So you got to wear deodorant. And you know what? Your natural deodorant is not cutting it.
No.
You smell like a citronella candle with BO.
You need some chemicals, some harsh chemicals
get some chemicals up in that shit. And you know what I said in the email was armpits and leg pits too. And a few people were like, I never thought about that. I was like, listen, all your smelliest crevices, you got to get the deodorant up in there. Like the gym equipment, funky wrist wraps, knee sleeves, that kind of stuff that just doesn't get washed that often, or it stays damp in the gym bag. And eventually you either just have to throw those things out. You can do some, soak them in OxyClean, laundry stripping, it's called, to try to get the funk out of them. Or, and on that note too, just wearing, some of those wicking fabrics.
Yeah.
That you get sweaty in them. And then even if they're fresh out of the laundry, they just stink. As soon as they're in contact with your body heat, you're just radiating the funk. So eventually you just have to treat yourself to a new shirt, new gym clothes, and get rid of that funky stuff.
I feel like if you've been working out in a certain shirt for more than a handful of years, definitely 5 is the ceiling. It's time to just get rid of that shirt. Yeah. So we sent out the email, and it's always the people that aren't the problem that take it so personally and okay, if it's me, just tell me. I just want to know. And it's you're not the problem because you're already self-aware enough to realize that this is an issue. And those people are great and hilarious. But what's funny is it's often the people that are the problem that are just completely oblivious. Be like, what? Some people smell? Really? I'm not noticing anything. It's that's because you're the smelly one.
And isn't that a summary of what's overall problematic about humans and society? Is that the most problematic people have no self-awareness that they're the problem? And what is that about human psychology, that we're just, as little creatures, so bad at self-awareness and being honest with ourselves? What's Richard Feynman, the physicist, the quote is, he's talking about the advancement of science, but he's like, first, you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. Mm-hmm. So when he's talking about scientists with their own bias and, cherry picking data and that kind of stuff, you're like, I think that's certainly not unique to the world of just scientific inquiry.
Yeah.
It's humans everywhere just suck at that.
I think we're all idiots sometimes when it comes to being self-aware. There's been 1 or 2 occurrences where you're cooking in the kitchen and I stand in front of the cabinets that you need to get into.
Just 1 or 2.
It's happened enough that there was somebody else that made a meme about it. He's like, hang on, I got to go stand in front of this cabinet and my wife needs to get into.
This is I love you. You're my favorite person on earth. You're my best friend.
But
can't say but because then it cancels out the thing you said ahead of it. You have the worst body awareness.
What?
You have, not maybe the worst. You have pretty terrible body awareness. I will clearly be doing something like going from the stove to the sink with like something in my hands that I'm clearly on the way to the sink, and you'll just like wander in between and stand in front of the sink for no reason.
You're exaggerating.
Like, why are you
exaggeration? You're crazy.
See, lack of self-awareness. Deny, deflect. What is that? Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm the worst.
Hey, not the worst.
Just throwing tomatoes at me over here. Jeez.
But I think
let's talk about your issues.
You can pile on all the things I lack self-awareness on. But I think what that leads us to is like, you need trusted people in your life that will tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And that's why, and I've said this to you and to many other people, one of the primary qualities that attracted me to you in the beginning and why I knew so quickly that
was my spatial awareness.
Was not your spatial awareness. But it was that you just told me the truth. And you told me when I was being an asshole and that I should knock it off. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is actually, I like this feedback. I'm going to be a better person with this person.
Yeah. And we try to do that for each other in all the ways. Like when one of us has a weird email we have to send, we always get the other person to read it just to make sure it's not coming across as like really aggressive or anything like that. And I think it's important to have those people in your life for sure, even though they sometimes humiliate you on a podcast in front of the entire world, but that's okay.
That's not that humiliating to say sometimes you stand in front of the drawers I need to get into.
And you know what, considering that is my only shortcoming, I think I'm doing pretty good, you know?
I mean, I have been happily married to you for a long time. 16 years? When did we get married?
I don't know.
Almost 17, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Long enough.
Yeah.
Okay. If I had like a big blob of mustard on my face and I was talking to someone and they didn't say anything, and then I go to the bathroom and I see I have a big blob of mustard on my face, I'd be so mad. I'd be like, just tell me. Like, I think most of us, if we're doing something embarrassing, like smelling bad or talking with mustard on our face or the flies open or whatever, like you would want somebody to just tell you.
Yeah.
I think I would want somebody to tell me.
I think we all need to strive to be the type of people that are willing to tell somebody when they have something on their face, and also the type of people that want to hear it when they have something on their face, because it goes both ways. You have to be willing to be like, oh shit, I'm a little bit embarrassed right now, but it's for the greater good. It's so that I don't continue on with my day with a big glob of whatever all up in the grill.
You have to seek feedback.
Yeah.
You have to be open to feedback.
Yeah. And I appreciate those people that are willing to say, hey, you got a little something right there. And you don't have to make a big deal out of it. You don't have to be mortified. It's like, whatever. We all do stupid things and we all do dumb stuff.
So DEFCON 1 was the blanket email, so everyone gets the information. DEFCON 2 is then, if we need to, we'll have to go to one-on-one individual conversations and stuff, which is, nobody wants that. Like, I don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So if y'all can just wash your gym clothes, get a new shirt, soak your knee sleeves and wear deodorant, then we'll all save ourselves an awkward conversation. Yeah. But I'll do it anyway.
I know. And we've had those conversations in the past and we'll have them again in the future. We were laughing about it with Adam, who's one of our coaches, and he's a teacher. And he's teaching high school boys and just brought like a bunch of deodorants. And it was like, here, guys, try this out. You're going to...
You all smell bad.
You got to do something about this.
And when you're in a classroom together, close quarters, like, same thing. You can't be stinking up the joint.
Yeah.
There's a great book, and there was a TED Talk that went with it called, I think it was just called Being Wrong or On Being Wrong, something like that. And I always remember this line from the TED Talk where the lady was like, what does it feel like to be wrong? She's like asking the audience, and people say all kinds of things like, it's humiliating, it's embarrassing, it makes me mad. And she's like, no. That's what it feels like to find out that you were wrong. She's like, the whole time you were wrong, it felt like being right. You didn't know until somebody told you. And then once you know, well, now you're not wrong anymore because presumably you're going to fix it. So there's this funny catch-22 in that of like, the whole time you're wrong, you don't know. It feels like being right until somebody tells you, reflects back. And then, yes, finding out that you were wrong is embarrassing or enraging or whatever. But at least you've been given the opportunity to make it correction, to make it better.
The unfortunate thing with the modern world, especially, but probably all time, is that there are way too many people out there that find out that they're wrong. And so they just dig in deeper and like continue to fight the ridiculous fight. It's like, you're clearly not right, but you're still going to fight this fight. Like, God.
Yeah. The psychology of persuasion and influence is interesting, especially when people have beliefs or deeply held convictions that defy logic,
Yeah.
Just presenting them with more facts and logic doesn't actually change their opinions. If anything, like you said, it makes them dig in harder.
Well, especially if you have an illogical opinion on something.
It can't be persuaded with logic. It doesn't.
No, it just doesn't work at all.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I think in general, like hard conversations, I think you get to a certain age, I hope most people have figured out things are better if you just do the hard thing.
Yeah.
Have the hard conversation rather than just letting it fester and not dealing with it. That's rarely, never the productive way to handle those things. So
Yeah.
there's like a psychology of people that tend to gravitate towards CrossFit is like being willing to do hard things.
Some of the biggest mistakes we've made in our business come from not having hard conversations when we should have and letting things grow to the point where it was like a disaster situation. And I'm sure it would have been much better if we would have just nipped it in the bud early on. And it's funny, I was driving with Atlas the other day and, he's working now and getting paid minimum wage. And he's like, I hope they give me a raise soon. So we were talking about like asking for raises. And I was like, you kind of have to be the one that initiates that most of the time because they'll just let things fly often until you say something. But, I was guiding him to say that like, you don't just go in and be like, I would like more money, please. You have to tell them why you deserved it and the positive feedback he's been getting from the parents and the reason you've earned it already. And then you can actually try to convince them that it's a good idea and hopefully they agree with you and you guys both continue on.
What value you are providing.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where it's super uncomfortable and you don't want to do it, especially as like a young guy and your boss is so intimidating and you will benefit more if you just go and ask. And even if they say no, it's like, well, whatever. It's the same as when you are trying to date girls and stuff. The worst that they're going to say is no. Yeah. And then you're like, okay, cool. And then leave it at that and you move on and you continue to work and you do it again and you try later and that's just the process.
Yeah. All you can control is your reaction to it.
Yeah.
You control what they say.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I think, shame's a weird thing, right? People get so shamed about some silly things and then they don't have nearly enough shame about some big glaring things that you should feel ashamed of, like
I was having a conversation with a participant at a level 1 recently that's kind of on that same thing about at the level 1, we have a portion of the course where we teach a progression for the ring muscle up, where we teach a progression for the snatch, the squat snatch. And we were talking about how, especially if people are newer to CrossFit or younger, you might not realize what fitness was like prior to the way CrossFit revolutionized the way strength and conditioning is done, in that the idea of trying to teach an Olympic lift or a gymnastics ring muscle up to the general population, to a general fitness participant, was unheard of, like blasphemy. Those movements were kept in this ivory tower for only elite athletes, specialists, and CrossFit, Greg, the founder, recognized like, hey, these movements have a lot of value. And if we just broke them down into a simple progression, put a PVC pipe in someone's hands, we can teach them the basics of these movements and they can benefit from their difficulty. And so CrossFit incorporates really difficult, challenging movements like the squat snatch and like gymnastics things and muscle ups and stuff. And when we look at that list of the 10 physical skills, I've written it on the whiteboard many times, physical adaptations you seek from exercise, cardiorespiratory endurance, strength, so cardio and strength, everyone thinks of that, stamina, flexibility, speed and power, accuracy, agility, coordination, and balance. You're like, is there anything on that list you don't want? You're like, no, that sounds awesome. I want all those things. The very difficult movements require a lot of the neurological adaptations, accuracy, agility, coordination, and balance. You have to have those things to snatch well, to walk on your hands, to do those things. If you just shy away from ever attempting to teach or coach those movements, you're like, it's too hard. People won't get it. Well, then guess what? They don't get those adaptations. They don't get accuracy, agility, coordination, and balance. And so we're kind of having this discussion of like group fitness. Functional fitness is like a thing now, right? There's lots of CrossFit imitators. F45, Orange Theory, now it's High Rocks. So like, what do they eliminate? What do they do? Or what do we do that they don't do?
all the high skill stuff.
All the high skill stuff. So you're like, so people don't want any skills?
Yeah.
They're like, so we're going to do no skills. So we're going to get no neurological adaptations. We're probably not doing any proper strength work. So we're not getting strong either. We have no range of motion standards. So we're not worrying about flexibility, i.e. high rocks and their stupid wobbles. And we're doing long grinder workouts. Everything's always 30, 40 minutes, over an hour. So we have no speed and no high power output stuff.
Yeah.
So what's left in the adaptations you're getting from those programs? It's just scraps of fitness.
It's just sweaty.
It's getting sweaty. Cardiorespiratory endurance and some stamina.
Yeah.
And that's it. And you're like, I look at that, I'm like, well, that sucks. You're like, but it's easier. It's less intimidating. It's a lower barrier. So to the coaches, it's easier to coach because you're not trying to coach anything hard. You don't have to actually coach anything. You have to just go 3, 2, 1, go and cheer for people and crank a playlist. That's easy. Mm-hmm. And for the participants, you're like, well, you're not going to have to engage your brain here at all. Your only job is just to show up and get sweaty. So I guess to a certain person, there's an appeal to that. But that's a big part of why like CrossFit is the most effective. It optimizes human physiology because we don't leave anything out because we're not afraid of doing hard things, of coaching them or doing them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember when CrossFit was in its early days and the fights on the internet were so frustrating, you know, because everybody was like appalled that we were doing Olympic weightlifting in the first place. Yeah. And then they were also appalled that we were doing more than 1 rep at a time. It's like you can use different tools for different goals. You know, we're not trying to send anybody to the Olympics to compete and snatch 450 pounds or anything like that. We're just trying to like learn to use our body and learn the mechanics of different movements and train our brain as well as our body and do all the things. And it's just amazing how the haters just pile on when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And like, are people not allowed to learn things?
Yeah.
Are people not allowed to be bad at things when they're learning them? What a weird attitude to be like, oh, well, if you're not an elite athlete, or if you can't do it well, you shouldn't do it. It's like, but how do I learn to do it well if I'm not allowed to do it when I'm bad? Like, it's just a completely nonsensical argument.
And for sure, there was a period of time where CrossFit was in its infancy and our standards were lower, right? Everybody was just trying to figure shit out and trying to learn. And there was definitely a bit of a awkward learning curve for, you know, even at the CrossFit Games when they did the 1 rep max snatch event, and it was awful. Like nobody could squat snatch and everybody's trying to like heaving power snatch, whatever, these small weights, but give it some time, you know? And now there's lifters in CrossFit that are fucking crazy strong and their technique is flawless. And they, you know, Tia competed in the Olympics, right? So it's not that it shouldn't be done. It's just that, you have to be a little bit humble and a little bit patient in the process, that it's going to take some time to learn how to do these things properly. And if you happen to be a young little guy that picks up a PBC for the first time at 6 and ends up in the Olympics, fucking A, that's great. Good for you. Yeah. But for the rest of us that learn this in our 20s, 30s, and 40s, clearly we're not on the same path. We're not on the same goal, but it doesn't mean we have to avoid those movements.
And I think it's like, we definitely don't avoid the path.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to me when I hear someone that participates in CrossFit say something like, oh, well, I'm never going to get a muscle up. I don't want to get a muscle up. I'm not here to do that. You're like, why not? Why? Tell me why. Give me a good reason why you don't want to benefit from taking one tiny step on the path towards that thing. Even if you never get a muscle up, I don't care. But the benefit to you and your fitness and your future longevity is in the path towards it.
Yeah.
I want to get a press to handstand. I may never get a press to handstand. But the next step for me on the path towards that is to work on a better freestanding handstand. So I'm doing that right now.
Yeah.
And it's on the pathway towards a press to handstand. I may never reach the end of the pathway, but man, I'm going to benefit a ton from all of the steps that I'm doing along the way.
Yeah.
And so I don't care if you'll never do a ring muscle up, but you're going to benefit from working on your grip strength, from doing ring rows, from doing dips, from working on your shoulder mobility, like all of those things that would move you 1 inch closer towards the thing, you know? And
we've talked at length in the past about setting realistic goals for yourself and not making everything so end of story. You know, you need to just celebrate the small things that happen along the way on your journey, because if you make your goal to win the CrossFit Games, like, okay, but good luck, you know, but if you make your goal, I want to be as fit as possible and see what kind of cool stuff I can do along the way with my fitness, then that's great. It's like, it's not fail because you didn't ever make it to the CrossFit Games. You didn't win the CrossFit Games. It's like, holy shit, I got to be the fittest person I possibly could. And now I can make use of my fitness and do all kinds of cool things in the real world.
Yeah. So I think you look at all the different ways that CrossFit's, the methodology is applied to like kids and elderly people and Parkinson's patients and adaptive athletes and all these like cool things. And so it's not that I'm making the argument that you should take a 75-year-old lady and put her on the high rings and get her to fling herself over into a muscle up. That's not at all what I'm saying. But it's that people benefit from working towards those things, even if it's such a far off, goal, to a long journey to a far off destination, as they say. But it's that we don't shy away from doing hard things or teaching hard things. And our Legends class is a great example of that. Age-wise, coordination-wise, safety-wise, orthopedic issues-wise, maybe doing a clean with a barbell isn't the right fit for that population. But we still do med ball cleans. Maybe a barbell snatch isn't the right way to learn that movement, but we do dumbbell snatches. Like, we still keep those high coordination movements in there. We just do them in a way that's safe and appropriate for the individual, right? Which is logical and sensible.
Yeah, be self-aware enough to know like what your limitations are and what's a realistic goal, but get on the path and work on some stuff. We talked just recently in podcasts about it's never too late to improve on things, even if you're over the peak when it comes to strength building, or sure, maybe you'll never get a bar muscle up or whatever. You can still work on all kinds of other stuff late into your life. Yeah.
And well into your CrossFit career, however far that is. They talk about training age. Like, when did you start training? And so if you started training when you're 12, you only have so many years that you're going to get better, and then you'll just be holding steady. But if you started training when you were 55, you still have, call it 10 years of adaptation and improvement, and then you'll level off and just try to hold steady. So from whatever point you start the journey, and then, I don't know, we've been at it a long time. It'll be going on 18 years, been doing CrossFit. Recently, in the last year or two, my double unders are probably the best they've ever been. My toes to bar are the best they've ever been. I PR'd my freestanding handstand hold the other day because I'm finally just working on it, There's plenty of things to keep you improving and interested in tinkering with things for a long time.
Yeah. And I'm guilty of this as well, so I feel it. But I think there's too much emphasis put on certain things. It's either the sexy skills or the weights, and people get obsessed with those two things. But there's a rainbow of stuff out there that you can work on, improve. We always talk about mobility being the thing that nobody wants to work on, but everybody can improve on. I was joking in one of my classes recently, asking who at any point in their life could put their foot behind their head. And very few people ever could. I was like, maybe that's the next thing. That's what we're going to work on this year. All of us are going to get to the point where we can put a foot behind our head.
We're approaching the end of our strength cycle right now.
Yeah.
And prepping for our 1 rep max back squat day last week, I'd put some stuff on the whiteboard about range of motion. We were videoing. I had people videoing each other. I was like, I want you on your own phone. I want you to see what your squat depth looks like, so that when we get to max testing day and I tell you it's not low enough, I don't want you to look shocked Pikachu at me like this is the first you've ever heard of it. I want you to see, which was an eye-opening experience for many people. But I also put on the board, like, why is range of motion important? This isn't just an arbitrary standard, or it's the open, or it's a judging standard. It's all day to day. It's almost nothing to do with that. It's that it promotes orthopedic safety, joints moving through the full range of motion they're intended to, strength on both sides. In this case, the squat, you need the quads and the hammies. Flexibility. Untrained range of motion is weak range of motion. And then eventually it's crusty range of motion. And then eventually it's you can't range of motion, If you never put your arms over your head, eventually you can't put your arms over your head. If you never squat below parallel, eventually you can't squat below parallel. And then I said anti-decrepitude, like the point where you can't squat below parallel and back up, like air squat, is the point where you're losing independence and quality of life. Like your inability to get up off a chair, out of the toilet by yourself is when people start having meetings about you. I was like, guys, you can pry my full depth squats out of my cold, dead hands. I was like, I am never not squatting below parallel until I die. You're going to put me in my coffin in a full depth squat.
It'd be like a cube of a
just like a little contortionist, like in Ocean's 11, the guy that hides the little
with his feet up.
Yeah, exactly. That's gonna be me in my coffin. That's me right there.
Nice. I'm not putting you in a coffin. I'm gonna cremate you.
You can cremate me.
You can cremate. You can sit in a squat while we cremate you.
Okay, toss me in the ocean then or whatever.
I'll be dead way before you. What am I talking about?
That seems to be your plan.
I kind of am planning on that. I don't know. I have never had to deal with a dead pet, like personally, other than a hamster and a snake. I've never had to deal with the carcass of a dog or a cat or anything like that. So I'm not a big fan of dead bodies at all. And I would...
Is anybody
a
fan of that?
I think I don't know, especially weird about it. I can only imagine trying to deal with a dead human that I love. So I'm going to die first.
Oh, I see. That's the plan. Leave me to deal with your dead body.
You can deal with me.
I guess I got to work on my deadlift. Okay.
You toss me in the crematorium.
I had forgotten about this. That makes me think of, at one point I think posted a video of me carrying you up the stairs, like fireman carrier backpack, like koala back. I can't remember what it was, but like carried you up the stairs. And I was like, oh yeah, that's important to me, that should anything ever go wrong, I can move you a good distance or up an incline if I have to. Like,
where are you got to bury that body in the backyard.
Yeah, if you get in the way of the counters and if you stand in front of the sink one more fucking time, I'm going to bury you in the backyard. No one will ever know.
You got to hide the body.
At the gym where we had those old garden beds, I'm just going to put you in there.
Let's not talk about that. That's where the bodies are. Actually, I had this recurring dream years ago that it was the weirdest thing. It just kept happening over and over again for a weird period of time, where I had a dream that we were doing some kind of construction and we had to tear up a floor, and I had put a body underneath that floor. And I was so paranoid that they were going to find this body that I had gotten rid of. And it just kept happening enough times where I started to question my own sanity, where I was like, did I actually put a body somewhere? Like, I'm pretty sure I don't remember ever killing anybody. And I was like thinking hard about, like, no, that's a dream. That's a dream for sure. And I remember telling Ken, who's a police officer, and he was like, do I have to worry about you?
Talk about something
I'm pretty sure it was a dream. Pretty sure. 80% sure.
Blacked out a few times over the years. Who knows?
Never dig up BRIO. There's maybe a carcass under the...
Well, it was a doggy daycare before we got there, so who knows what kind of bones you're going to find buried in the yard.
Yeah.
We didn't put them there.
No.
Not us. Okay, let's pivot. We're back on track.
This is way better.
Did we have a track?
Fitness.
I don't know what we're talking
about.
about. Yeah, dead bodies buried in the yard. 2026.
Oh yeah,
is upon us. Just about imminent.
It's coming soon.
Yeah, I love this time of year where we start to think ahead. Like, what are we going to do and planning for the year, and what are some of the things we got on the roster for in the new year?
So we're doing something kind of fun this year. It's your idea. I'll give you full credit. We decided, okay, it kind of goes back to the old Boy Scout days. You know, I used to be a beaver. I don't know if you know that, but I was a beaver. And then I was some sort of scout. I don't know.
Do the boys get a sash, or is it like a vest?
So
what is
in beavers, you had to wear this weird little hat and some sort of scarf, and there was different levels, but I think you could still get badges. Cub Scouts is what I was in. That's all coming back to me now.
Okay.
And Cub Scouts, you would put them on your shirt, little patches. Oh, okay. And then I don't know, there's another level where it's like a sash or something.
Yeah.
But anyways, we were like, hey, we can think of something like that, except cooler. You don't have to wear a sash or a weird beaver hat. So we're going to do something neat this year. We've got a deal where if you prepay for the year, which most of our people do, you get a free Yeti water bottle. Jocelyn will yank it out now. Got blam.
The Yeti.
Custom BRIO Yeti bottle.
Ooh, home of the committed.
And then we've come up with a whole bunch of ways to get little stickers to put on the water bottle.
To like decorate that.
Yes.
The Yeti.
You don't have to wear a sash, but you get to decorate your water bottle. So there'll be stickers for the Committed Club every month. We have some benchmark workouts that we'll do that if you come and participate in those, you get a little sticker. There's certain fitness tasks, I guess. Things like 2 times body weight deadlift, 2-minute bar hang, 2-minute plank in each of the 3, front, side, a whole bunch of different challenges that you can do. So we'll try to have them as like we program them through the year. This is a day you can attempt this challenge. If you get it, you get a sticker. And then there's other ones where if you show up for the open, you get a sticker for each week that you show up. And we'll have like, Murph Day and stuff like that. So lots of opportunities to collect stickers. Should be super fun. Just gives you something to shoot for. So even if you're not trying to PR your back squat or whatever anymore, we have a bunch of different things that you can still work towards.
Yeah. You're not off the hook from trying to improve as a human and your fitness. So the Committed Club, here's what I'm doing though. 16 workouts a month and up, everybody gets the sticker. So that's the also showed up a lot club.
Yeah.
And then 20 and up still gets entered in the draw. So basically like we have been doing it. So just showing up, consistency, show up, home of the committed, like we say all the time. So there's one for each month. They're really cute. I have those ones already. And they're all hexagons, so they like fit together. So you can like decorate a little water bottle. And then feats of fitness, like you said, and something that anybody of any level could aim at least one or two of them.
Yeah. Some of them are really hard, and then other ones are much more approachable.
Yeah. And so for different people, will find different challenges, but there's something in there for everybody that you could aim for. Everybody could benefit from working towards being able to hold a plank for 2 minutes in every direction. Everybody benefits to working towards a 2-minute bar hang. And let's say my dad, who's the oldest member at the gym, has done the 2-minute bar hang. So accessible to anyone and everyone. Kids in the kids program have done the 2-minute bar hang. So
I mean, they only weigh like 38 pounds.
well, that's what everyone always says. Like, it's not fair because they're so little. But yeah, there's a sub 7-minute mile time, a double body weight deadlift, a sub 5-minute Fran, a sub 10-minute Helen. So some of those things are freaking hard to do.
For sure.
Some of them are strength, some of them are speed, some of them are gymnastic skills. So there's all kinds of fun things to like pick some goals and work towards something. And
there will be structure to this. You can't just randomly show up one Wednesday and be like, hey, I'm going to go for my Helen thing right now.
Yeah,
like,
no,
that's not how that works. No, you have to take it easy on the coaches. So we'll have a Helen programmed, and you can come in that day and you can shoot for it. And if you get it, you get the sticker.
Yeah.
So there will be some structure. There will be some rules and regulations around these things.
Opportunities for when you can do those ones. So there's Committed Club. There's the feats of fitness. There's the events, like you said, just come and participate, be part of the community, the Open, the Murph, the Chad, the Marathon Row, like those fun things that we do throughout the year. Halloween costume wad, workout in a costume, just fun stuff. And then a bunch of health marker ones because we also, in addition to our elite fitness, want to pursue elite health. So people should, as early as possible, be aware of their health markers. So things like, and this is when we've been talking a lot about forging elite fitness. It's back in the world of CrossFit. What does elite look like? Metabolic syndrome. You get diagnosed with metabolic syndrome if you have 3 of the 5 criteria. So one is an elevated waist circumference, elevated blood pressure, high triglycerides, low HDL, and high fasting glucose. You get diagnosed with metabolic syndrome if you have 3 of the 5. 93% of Americans have at least one marker of metabolic syndrome. So that means only 7% of people, of adults now, are free of metabolic disease. And so if you can get 0 Med-S, 0 markers of metabolic syndrome, you're fucking elite these days. You're in the top 7%. So if you can knock out those ones, and I'll list like the specific criteria. So some of them you can just measure your waist, you know what it is. Other ones you might have to go get some blood work at the doctor. So I had several health-related criteria in there. A bone density scan with a T-score above 1, bomb-proof bones. You know I love talking about bone density. Love them bomb-proof bones on people.
Look how good my bones are.
Look how good my bones are. Yeah. So I love when people, we were talking about this the other day. Sometimes your fitness is about the things that don't happen.
Oh yeah, I know where you're going with this.
Well, one of them was a lady fell off a ladder the other day and she was like, but I was fine. You know, just like kind of bumped my shoulder and didn't break a bone. So that's positive. I had one of these. So we work on balance stuff. I work on balance in my warm-ups a lot. I think it's a neglected aspect of fitness. Lots of single leg, drinky bird, bouncing kinds of moves. I'm leaving the dance studio with Dash the other day and had kind of warmed up. So it was really slushy and mucky out. Crossing the street, cornering too fast and like started to like, did the full wipeout thing. I'm on one leg, other leg and arms flailing. And I like hop, hop, hop and saved it and did not fall in the muddy gutter of the road. And I was like, Dash, did you see that? And he was like, that was awesome. and there was a car parked right there. And I was like, wanted this guy to be excited for me too. He wasn't looking. But I was like, holy shit. I was like, this is literally what we've been practicing every Tuesday morning, especially when we're bopping around on one foot trying to stabilize our balance. And I was like, it really does pay off in life to not end up. I wouldn't have hurt myself, but I would have been a mess if I would have fallen. slipped in the snow. So I was like,
yeah.
frick yeah, check out my balance.
And it is a funny thing because we notice when we're doing actual tasks, right? We've had tons of times where people are like, oh man, I had to do this thing at home and it was so easy. It was crazy. I couldn't believe how much easier it was than I expected. Mm-hmm. You get to notice those things, but there's so many sort of missed opportunities, I guess, where something horrible could have happened and you did one of these and you slipped out, but you caught yourself and you're like, oh, I could have fallen and broken my elbow right there. Mm-hmm. You don't even pay attention to it. You're just like, ooh, that was close. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff that doing fitness, preparing you for the real world shit, it's paying off.
Mm-hmm. And it makes life easier in a lot of ways. It's just so much easier to have capacity and balance and strength and bone density. It's like,
yeah,
you get to do life on easy mode. So you choose a bit of effort.
Yeah. And that's why if you just cut out all of those skills out of your training program, you were ill prepared. And then the next thing you know, you fall on the ice in front of a car. And instead of them giving you a big thumbs up, they kind of honk at you. Like, haha.
Or they post their dash cam footage on the internet of like, look at this lady falls in the snow.
You're on a fails video on the internet.
Exactly. Oh, man. Okay, so we've got all the little challenges and earn your stickers. This idea did start with a discussion with Patty about wearing sashes.
Yeah. Patty, I'm sure would be 100% on the sashes.
Shout out Patty.
Okay, can you imagine, just take a step back for a second here. Bring a friend day, some poor person trying to get their health in line. They show up to a gym and everybody's wearing a fucking sash with different stickers or patches on it. And they're like, you guys are crazy.
Well, I mean, we're already wearing matching shirts half the time. That's not that far off.
I don't know. The sash that's not a common thing.
Level.
Everybody wears shirts.
Okay.
Sashes are another
It is a next level. That's why we decided not to go with that idea.
Everybody needs a water bottle.
Yeah. So pay your annual training fees in full. You get a Yeti just as a thank you, period. And then you can choose to adorn it with stickers. If you're cool, and if you don't want to play, have fun being a big stick in the mud, whatever. But yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, and if you decide that the year membership isn't possible for you, we do have some extra ones that we can sell if people
purchase one. Should you want to also play along?
Yeah, or you just put the stickers on your face.
Yeah,
wear them around town.
That'll work too.
Yeah,
for like a day.
And get it tattooed.
Yeah,
that would be. I'd pay for that.
You know what?
Tattoos are expensive.
Have known 2 affiliates that brought a tattoo artist in during a big event. One of them was the Open.
Yeah.
And people got tattooed at the gym. And like
gym tattoos.
Like gym related tattoos.
Yeah.
That's pretty gnarly. I got a lot of tattoos.
Put in the notes. I wanna see. Would anybody in our sphere get a BRIO tattoo? Because that's a huge commitment. That's crazy. It wouldn't even have to say BRIO. I don't know what it would have to, something to do with BRIO, but these people were getting tattoos of their gym's logo or whatever. That's crazy.
I respect it. I respect the commitment.
Yeah. Would you rather sash or tattoo? Leave a note in the comments.
Post your thoughts to comments. In addition to the sticker thing in the year, we'll continue to do some of the fun things we've done before. We do the 10,000 steps a day challenge in January on purpose because it's the frickin' hardest time of year to do it. Starting a challenge when the weather's great and the sun is up and it's easy doesn't build the resiliency of the skills that you actually need to make them stick. So we do the step challenge in the hardest month. I think one that I'm also going to put out there to people is dry January.
Dry January.
Yeah, no alcohol.
No showers. Oh, dry. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. We're just not going to drink water for all of January. It's a thing. It's not I didn't invent that.
No.
But it's sort of like a loose internet challenge, Reddit kind of thing. And maybe because people come off the holidays and Christmas parties and family gatherings and they're just feeling like, ooh,
they need a detox.
Detox, sober up a little bit. And we've had some discussions here and there about various levels of alcohol use and dependency on it, even among people that would otherwise say they value their health and fitness, but they're drinking alcohol every day. Mm-hmm. I think we might have talked about this on the last episode too, where I had interviewed on the CrossFit podcast a therapist. We were talking about how do you know that you have an unhealthy relationship with something? And he's like, oh, you just have to go without it for a bit and see if you're okay. And so I was like, oh, so if you're in control of your alcohol use, you should be able to go a month without it. You should be able to go 30 days and it shouldn't be a major concern. And if it is a major concern, you got to unpack that about what's going on there and why. So would probably benefit. I go long periods of time. I'm not a big alcohol person. So.
Yeah. I enjoy like a drink once in a while, especially it's a social thing for us.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, if we have a drink, it's because we're like out for dinner or we're at a function somewhere.
And then, so throughout the year, we'll do some nutrition related focuses or challenges for the month. Some, we've done drinking water, trying to hit a minimum intake of water. We've done the step challenge. We'll do the push-ups for mental health. Again, that's always a fun one. It's not a whole month, but it's in February. Obviously, the Open is coming end of February and the first 2 weekends of March. Always a fun time. It's your annual checkup. You just got to do it. Mm-hmm. And I think of it like sometimes people get weird and intimidated and they feed themselves a whole story about why they shouldn't participate in it. And it's like, well, I don't care. I'm not trying to be competitive. You're like, yeah, neither are any of us. It's just for fun. It's the same way that people will sign up to go run a 5K or run a 10K in the local race. And you go because it's fun. You like the challenge and there's cool people around. And you probably never even look up your chip time. You never even cared about what your ranking was versus everybody else. Maybe you look up your time, but you don't look at your place on the leaderboard or give a shit about it. That's not what it's about, i.e. ditto to the Open.
Yeah.
You can look up your own scores and that's cool. Your worldwide ranking, that's not what it's about. It's about participation. It's about trying harder things. It's about being honest about yourself with where your fitness is at. Sometimes it goes up, yay, and sometimes it goes down, ooh. And then you just have to, again, be honest with yourself, self-awareness. Why is it like that?
And if you put enough filters on the leaderboard, you can come in first place every time.
I am the fittest lady over the age of 40 on Lakeshore.
Under 5'2".
Under.
Come up with your own leaderboard that's just you. I won again.
We'll do the marathon row again.
Yeah, that was
earlier.
fun.
That was super fun. And I hope more people do it. That was also one where several people chickened out of it with their mindset like, oh, that's so hard. I could never do that. But also we had people that have never done CrossFit before that came in and did it. And it was fine. It was fun. It was a great day.
Only one of them died.
Yeah. Buried in the backyard.
Yeah. That's fine. About that. Yeah. I think and we're going to do that one earlier this year.
I think June. The date. We'll do Murph in May. We'll do the 333. That's a fun one from the games years ago.
Cardio jam.
Yeah. And that's the thing about CrossFit is like, I said some shit about High Rocks earlier. They have low judging standards, but I'm actually not opposed to people doing a High Rocks. I totally think you should. It looks like fun. I would do one if it was convenient to where I was. It's just a long CrossFit WOD. I think you should do a High Rocks. I think you should do Chad. I think you should do Murph. I also think you should max out your back squat and your deadlift. And I think you should try to PR your Fran and your Helen. Mm-hmm. And you should try to hold a handstand or a better plank. And you should try to have better grip strength and a pull-up. Like all of those things. Yes, to all of them. I don't think you should always favor long stuff. I don't think you should always favor heavy stuff. I think you should test your fitness and participate in all of the fun things that you can do with your fitness.
Yeah, it's the top of the pyramid, right? Sports, get out and do stuff.
Yeah.
You need to use your fitness for more than just going to the gym. So go do some stuff. Challenge yourself with different adventures. Mm-hmm. That's what makes life fun.
Somewhere along the way from the early days, CrossFit became self-referential where people started doing CrossFit to get better at CrossFit. So we just stayed in the gym and people kind of forgot or it fell by the wayside that the early application of doing CrossFit and the reason you did one workout a day and you took a rest day every 3 days was because people were using their fitness for fun stuff to go do other things, to play sports or be outside or go surfing or whatever was your thing that you were into, that you were out of the gym walls as much as you were, or more than you were in the gym walls.
If you're going to surf around here, you need a $150,000 boat.
I guess so.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you got to make your own waves, not metaphorically.
Yeah.
You literally
have to make your own waves.
So as we get to the end of the year, New Year is upon us. It's the time for self-reflection, self-awareness. Log your workouts, pay attention to your scores. Data is part of self-awareness and being honest with yourself.
Try not to get too far off the wagon through the Christmas break.
Do the best you can.
Have some fun. Go do some stuff. Drink some eggnog. But let's not go crazy. We've got resources, CrossFitBRIO.com/outside the box if you're away from the gym. There's a whole bunch of low or no equipment workouts, short little things you could do in grandma's basement if you're away from the gym. Just keep up with a little bit of movement. You'll feel better if you do. Yep. It'll be not that fun and kind of sucky while you're doing it, but full well. It'll be better,
better for you if you do. And
Christmas burpees. Is it year 18?
18th annual Christmas burpees. Do you know what? In the Legends class the other day, we were doing burpees in the warm-up, and I said something about it. And I was like, Raise your hands if you participated in the first year of the Christmas burpees, and 3 of them like, yep. I'm like, hell yeah. So still some of those OG people that did it the first year still going.
18 years. That's a lot of burpees.
18 years burpees on Christmas Day, 150 reps. Rope your friends and family into it. Everyone is welcome to participate far and wide. It's my favorite thing to see all the pictures as they roll in.
Especially the poor schmucks that don't actually do workouts and then they get roped into doing 150 burpees and they're in the background just like, oh.
It's the worst Christmas ever.
The CrossFitters are smiling and this poor uncle is in the back just kind of hung over and like looks like he's going to die.
Merry Christmas.
Good for you, Uncle Rich. You did it.
And, I think you should give some thought to little goals, little things, little skill development in the year ahead. And at any age, any stage, there's cool things, cool skills to be unlocked. And mine, I want to get a 10-second handstand hold, freestanding, like a legit freestanding handstand. I need to get a strict muscle up. Stupid that I can't do one. And I want to work towards a 1-minute L sit. That's very hard to do.
That's so hard to do.
So far away. I can do like 12 seconds.
Yeah, I think the longest I've ever done is like 25 or 30 or so. It's so hard to do a minute. And it's so hard to like get better at that one too. It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
What do I want to work on? I would like to learn how to do a planche. Ooh. That would be cool.
Like on the ground?
Yeah.
Not on the rings?
I mean, maybe eventually on the rings. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
What else? Continue being in the way of the cupboards. And
really good. You're too good at that already. You don't need to work on that anymore.
I mean, you said I'm the best at it, so I got to carry my crown.
Yeah, it's important to continue to work your strengths alongside working your weaknesses.
That's right.
I'm like in a mood to master some basics of gymnastics. That's where I'm feeling these days. And a couple years ago, I had some goals about my back squat. I wanted to back squat double body weight on my 40th birthday. So I was like, went deep on the strength stuff. And this is what's neat about CrossFit is there's always all these little things that you can find and they're so interesting and it just never ends. There's always something cool to work on.
Yeah. Just got to keep challenging yourself, keep trying new things.
All right. So enjoy the holidays.
Yeah. We'll see you guys.
Try not to let it go too far off track.
Yeah.
Set some goals. We're going to crush 2026. It's going to be so fun.
You're calling it already.
Yes. Okay.
2026, the year of awesome.
The year of the stickers.
The year of the stickers. Nice. See you guys.
All right. See you in the next one.